What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another live stream. Today, I'm going to be sharing my screen and give you guys a better understanding on how to identify potential. For those that are joining us that normally do, thank you guys again. If you guys aren't a part of TechBot Solutions already, the link is down below. We have a little bit over now 32,000 members worldwide, and what we do best is we provide a free platform to provide a supportive and welcoming community for both new and experienced traders. So if you guys haven't already joined, again, the link is down below to join the Facebook group. And then once you get accepted there will be a series of links available. We still haven't decided on if we're going to be using the GroupMe app again or going with the Discord app. So just wait on for an update for that. But make sure that you guys subscribe if you guys aren't already, just to stay up to date with those updates. If you guys didn't check out yesterday's video, we talked about the disruption or the service issue that Robinhood was experiencing. So feel free to check that out as well. And then within our YouTube channel, we have a series of helpful videos. It's under the helpful video playlist. It answers frequently asked questions. So anytime you have any questions when it comes down to something about trading, make sure you use that YouTube search bar, search up those key terms as in how to identify potential, and then put my name right after it, so Ricky Gutierrez, or and then a video should pop up. I've made a series of videos that I think I could answer a majority of those frequently asked questions. So I want to thank you guys again for waking up so early. It's 6:15 right now, a.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona, but we are ready to get the ball rolling. We have a good amount of gappers during the morning. I'm going to be talking about a certain amount of stocks like Snapchat today as well. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I'm just going to be sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm pumped. Let's go ahead and get things going. So once you guys get accepted to the Facebook group, again, there are a series of group chats available. If you guys are on the Discord group chats, then we have these once you guys get accepted. And then we have the GroupMe group chats that are still active as well. So it really comes down to what type you like most. I'm going to go ahead and say what's up to some of you guys. I'm seeing a black screen. What's up, Kensley? What's up, William? What's up, Joel? What's up, the reviewer? Luke, Sherman, Jeff. What's going on, Robert? Dondrell, Luke, Stefani, Matthew. What's going on, bud? And then we have Nigel, Matthew, Chad, and my goodness, Ricky, DRYS plug. Yeah, we'll be talking about some of those. So for those that are joining us for the first time and don't understand what platform I'm using, again, it's on the left-hand side. TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It is a free platform, and if you guys search up TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim and then my name, Ricky Gutierrez, there's a series of videos on. I show you guys how I set up my TD Ameritrade as well as how you guys can download this for free. But yeah, let's get to it. So my watch list, as you guys can tell, is organized by volume from top to bottom. So plug is seeing the highest amount of volume. This is one that I've called out before because of the support that it has at $2 and the resistance it usually has around 210 to 220. And if we focus on like a 5-day analysis and then do that, you guys can see the 205 to 215. So a very small, like 5% profit margin, but the volume is usually very low. So it's very rare to see it that it has such a high amount of volume during pre-market hours. Like the market's not even open yet. So we can go to the 1 minute candlestick. It looks like it first had a previous resistance at 250. As you guys can see that it struggled to go above that, tried to have a support at 240. So if you guys can see, it tried to hold above 240. Broke above that, tried to hit 265, hit 264. It's seen a downward trend, and like we know, old resistance levels become new support levels. So if you guys don't know what resistance or support is, resistance is where it usually peaks out at, and then support is usually where it bounces at. So I've made a video on that as well. So I'm gonna set the alert. Well, I already have an alert that's gonna go off. I actually didn't think this one was gonna push on through. But it looks like it's seen a downward trend, so it'd be nice to be able to catch it at the bounce. And if we catch it at the bounce, if it's still going to be a nice little momentum stock, then we would still have a nice little profit margin here. I mean, this alone is about 4%, but if it continues to run, then it really comes down to that. So let's see why it's actually moving. Hmm. Oh, okay. So it soared 13% because it now partnered with Walmart. So again, people ask, why do stocks move? They're like, okay, well, it has to do with news. Yes, but what is the sole reason that a stock moves up or down, right? Regardless of what it is, like what acts as a catalyst. It has to be demand. So demand, when there's the demand for buyers and they exceed the sellers, then that's when you see a price increase. Same as when a stock price dips. If there's some bad news in the stock, again, like the news is in a sense what causes or what just sparks that specific demand. But it really comes down to like if the demand isn't there to either sell off or buy the stock, then the price necessarily wouldn't fluctuate or wouldn't differentiate from what it usually was doing. So it looks like it's already trying to bounce. I didn't actually think it was going to bounce there. So if you guys could see, it previously peaked out at 253 and it bounced at right at that specific price point. So that's pretty solid. So let's continue moving on to see what we have here. But a quick little plan that I could just plan out for those that like the way that I break things down is that I thought I had a support at 250. It actually bounced at 253. So it's still pretty close. Right now we have a resistance at 265. So how is it that we can plan out this trade for a quick in and out? So if it bounces at like 250, then it breaking above 253 would be a good sign. That gives us, if we get filled at 253 to 250, a 1% potential for loss, meaning that if we buy in at 253 and then it comes down to 250, that's where I would cut my losses because that's the support. And then if it breaks the support, it's most likely going to bleed all the way back down to 240. And I'd much rather just buy back there. But if it continues to rise, the potential for profit is about 4.57%. So that's not the perfect, 5-to-1 ratio or 1-to-5 ratio for 5% potential for 1% loss, but it's pretty close, right? You identify the support, the resistance, and then your little potential for loss. And if it makes sense to you, then you as the investor can, decide on what it is that you want to invest in. This one was somewhat like frustrating because I saw a good amount of people call it out yesterday, but just due to everything that was going on, I just didn't have the time nor the patience to focus on the specific stock. But what it looks like is that there's a true resistance here at 340. So what are we going to do is I'm going to set my alert here. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go when it goes above 340. Just I want to be alerted if it breaks that resistance, right? Giving me a better understanding that we have a stock that's running. Based on what I see that it hasn't really broken below the support is when it did hit this 340, it came back down. It initially bounced at this like around 310 mark. Then it came back up again, hit the resistance, seen a downward trend. Where would we most likely expect it to bounce? Well, again, it held pretty well at 310. It bounced again at 310. It did go below 310 during pre-market hours. So I'm going to put my alert here, and if it breaks the support, then it's most likely going to come back down. It had a support previously at 280, and what I mean by that is once it broke above 280, that's usually where it, well, not necessarily. I mean, it first ended up trying to bounce at 260, but then it was struggling to break above 260. But then when it did, it held very strong, and then it was just holding. It's just been all over the place, and this is what I kind of don't like about these momentum stocks is they're a little difficult to manage the risk in, and that's why I personally don't trade them very often. But we did have a good amount of people that are more momentum traders within our Technical Solutions group that did extremely well. People bringing in a little bit over $1,000 profit, and there's a good number of you that ended up doing that. So congrats to you. But that's really just it. So I think I have pretty solid supports. So if we see the bounce here at 310 again, and it goes above 320, then from 320 to 340, I have a 5.94 potential for profit. But if I go in at 320 and then I stop loss out at 310, that's a 3% potential for profit, or 2.79. So that's not necessarily the ratio that I'm looking for. But again, it comes down to like with more reward comes more risk. So I have my alert set, so I'm going to move on to the next pick. AMD peaked out at 390, bounced yesterday. So again, and this one's not even not even seeing what we usually see. We usually see AMD during pre-market hours to start, peak out, and then we see a pullback right as the market opens. This has already seen a drop, so not even a good sign for the day. If we go a little bit further back to 180-day analysis, yeah, it kind of just looks like it had a really nice trend going on, and then it's been dying off. It's like, like that resistance at like $14 is now too strong. And if you can see, it's really struggling to break above that, and it's a $13 stock, so although it is moving like a good amount throughout the day, it's about like 1 to 2%. So if you see potential in it, then you can make the decision to invest. Like yesterday, we called out the support at 340, or was it? Yesterday, we called out the support at around 340, and then once it ended up bouncing, we called it out within the group chats, and it broke the resistance at 366. So that alone was already the 1.5% potential from profit, and then it hit highs of about 390. So again, almost making its way back up, and that's 321. So now it's making its way back down to the support. So if it comes down to identifying a bounce, then set up your plan, where you're buying, where you're going to be selling. And then if all of a sudden, if you have a max percentage loss or a support that's where you want to cut your losses, just make sure you have a plan. It's entry, exit, and then cut loss. So I'm going to set my alert just so I have a better understanding where AMD stands, just because I usually see that it has a pretty decent pullback. And if I can't find any stock that is doing well for me, I know AMD, I know it pretty well. So although I'm not going to say that like I believe in it regardless of, because it's been all over the place. But it comes down to understanding that when it comes down to locking in profits, I'm pretty good when it comes down to trading AMD. Let's see what you guys have to say. We have 6 minutes left. Oh, you guys really want me to? Gold Spot is asking, this might be a dumb question, but are Fridays known for dropping stocks? Well, I think, and again, that's not a dumb question. And I really want to encourage you guys, anytime you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to help out. Yeah, so I'll get to bot right now. Just give me 1 second, guys. So to answer that question, there's a lot of people that lock in profits when it comes down to, like, going over the weekend. People don't not necessarily like to hold over the weekend. Does that mean people are just necessarily dumping stock? No, it just means that there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to be holding stock, and understanding that what moves the price is when there's more buyers than sellers. And if there's going to be more sellers on Friday, usually, again, the demand isn't necessarily as great on Friday. That doesn't mean that every single stock is going to be experiencing that, because again, AMD, like Plug, like all these momentum stocks that are seeing a lot of demand, don't necessarily get affected by it, other than just at the end of the like kind of day, a lot of people start locking in profits. So just be aware of that. So that's a good question. That's, I think, something that people should be aware of, is people don't like holding over the night or over the weekend, because a lot of news can happen, and understanding that the demand can change. A lot of people just like locking in profits and not having to worry over the weekend on how the market's going to open, if they've lost any money or anything like that. So that's a good question. I appreciate that. So JNUG hitting a resistance. This one has been a previous resistance before, so let's do a 10-day analysis. It's been showing consistent signs of upward momentum. What I'd like to see is somewhat of a pullback to like get in at a good point. So if you see when it peaked out, had a nice little pullback, but then that meant that you would have had to held overnight. So it's up about 3.56% since market close. But it does have nice little drops from time to time, and it's in those drops that it builds these margins of profit. You just have to react quick on having a plan. So let me kind of get to it. Where is Snapchat? It's not even popping up. Shut up. All right, there we go. I don't know why it got removed from my watch list, but the reason that I wanted to talk about Snapchat was that within the past couple of days, we all know when it broke below that 17 support. Again, that was like one of the strongest supports Snapchat has had throughout its life. Broke below that, and then saw a downward trend. We call these gappers, right? The really cool thing about this is that it's starting to flatline out. It showed signs of upward momentum, kind of how it did when it was around 15. But again, it just, the demand wasn't there, started seeing a downward trend, and then broke below that support. understanding that it almost looks like the same thing is happening. So if we do see a sudden drop, right, from 14 down to even lows of 14, we saw a nice little indicator that, usually when you see huge drops like this, it slowly starts downward staircasing to kind of where it's, where the support is at. But it really comes down to understanding that every time that it has a huge drop, it tries to show signs of upward momentum, meaning that like when it had this like a nice little drop, it tried to have like an upward trend, and that was a nice little margin. If you got it from top to bottom, it was about 5%. The same thing happened when it flatlined here at 1470, and then it broke above 15. That was about, what is that, 3%? So nothing huge, but it does build, nice little margins for profit if you see value in it. It's been showing consistent signs of downward momentum, so that's not necessarily something that you want to see. You really want to see this, just like I explained last time, to show signs of upward momentum as I thought it was going to do, and then it kind of just fell off and flatlined and then broke the support. So if it continues to flatline, that scared the crap out of me. That was a little too loud. If it continues to flatline, then and starts to show signs of upward momentum, then that would be a better indicator that we can get in at a good price. So okay, I'm guessing you guys are calling it out because of the huge spike that I had in volume the past couple of days. I mean, it's a stock less than $1, so I don't necessarily like trading it. But I could see that as a support at 50 cents. ZN, my goodness, ZN has just been killing it. It's making its way back up. That's what it's doing. There's a resistance at $6. Just be aware of that. That's where it peaked out at before. So if you see, that's where. So I don't know if you guys saw, but when it had this huge spike, it saw a huge downward trend. And ever since then, I mean, we've been like keeping up with it. And this is what I think, the same thing with Snapchat, like it has a huge downward trend, it starts to flatline, and then it starts to show signs of upward momentum, and it creates this little cup. That's the trend that we're looking for on Snapchat, but it hasn't created this upward trend yet. So yeah, all right, this thing is going. All right, we have it back at support. So right around, looks like it's, nope, looks like it might break below. I know from yesterday, it's trying to show signs of upward momentum. The volume just really died out yesterday. All right, so I broke below the support, guys. If you guys could see, like right as the market closes, you could see that the volume overall, these little blue bars, were flatlining. But right as the market started to close, volume started to increase. That doesn't mean that the price actually started to increase. It just means that that there's more transactions that were done within the past couple of minutes. And in doing that, the price fell because there are more sellers than buyers. And again, people just trying to lock in profits to not hold overnight. And again, most likely the same thing will happen today due to them not wanting to hold over the weekend, which just makes sense, right? So it looks like we had a bounce at 595, has hit highs of 605. It's just the volume isn't really there. And again, this one has a nice little drop. It's starting to flatline, and then we want to see this upward trend. So these are like little gappers that I call them. Usually gappers are ones that like just drop one day and then start to make its way back up the following day, but that's not the case with this one. DGAS, I'm not too sure if you saw my call out on this one, but it was when it was at like the $22 price point, and it's been rising ever since. Hit a resistance at about $25. So again, we're struggling to go above 25. Bouncing again at the support at 24. So showing signs again of upward momentum. Has a nice little profit margin of about 3%. So again, ZN seen a nice little pullback. Wow, that thing gapped up a lot during pre-market hours. So this is why it's so important to understand supports, because right as it broke the 310 support, a lot of people knew or understood that that was a previous support. Understanding that when it breaks the support, that's why I always try to have my stop loss set right below it, because right as it broke below that support, now it's heading back down to this 280 support, as you guys could see. So this is actually gonna, this might actually be a good trade. So I'm gonna get my phone ready and see if I can get into this one. It looks like it's trying to bounce now. And this is, I wanted to break above a resistance and then to see it start moving up. So it's moving up pretty quickly. 293. We can get over 295. All right, it's picking up. Not holding very well. Let's see. All right, there we go. Broke above $3. This is where I'm going to want to get in. All right, so now it's capping back up. Again, the previous support was at 315 at 320, or 310, I apologize. All right, give me 1 second. So we caught the bounce pretty well on this one. Let's see what you guys have to say. There we go. Broke above the resistance, so that's good. Seeing somewhat of a pullback back here to 305. Pushing right on through again, guys. Resistance at 320. Be ready. Okay, all right. It's already having a sell off. Pullback and pushing through. All right, breaking below this. If it breaks below the support, then that's where we'd have to lock in profits. All right. 315 might be the price. Sellers. Let's see. All right, yeah, 315 is the resistance. I'm gonna try to lock in profits there. Oh, broke it, of course. It's gonna pull back. PLUG experiencing a pullback all the way down to 240. Same with this one. It's not. That'd have been nice. I should have gotten in at 290. All right. And again, guys, I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform to do my technical analysis. But like you guys know, I'm using the Fidelity app to execute my trades. All right, if it breaks below 310, I'm out. All right, I'm out. Fuck. Shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I should have locked in profits at 315. I thought we could have, yeah, whatever. Okay. Pullback, we did pretty well on calling this one out. All right, let's move on. Actually, maybe we can get back in again. AMD went last year above 1850. Okay, nice. All right, so this thing's having a pullback. Should we get back in again? I'm going to give it a little bit of a play again. Let's see if I can get in for a second shot. All right, and filled. Yeah, filled at 295 this time. Last time I. All right, so I understand that the support is at 290. Crap. All right, well, I'm going to stop loss that on this one. And this one's not going to be for profit. There we go. There we go. All right. Once it breaks above $3, I'll remove my stop loss from 290, and then I'll put it at 295. There we go. Stop loss being set at 295. All right. $3. I know. Okay, I know it's moving up. It's great. It's not like I traded that one yesterday and I couldn't make anything, but okay. So $3. Let's see. Where are we gonna sell that? I think it's gonna struggle to break above 310 this time. I'd be fine with that. So 310 review. Freaking crap. It's breaking below support. $305. Should I just lock in profits? All right, broke below support. Looks like it really wants to go up. All right. Okay. Of course, INO is doing well today because I'm not trading it. I traded it yesterday. Didn't do anything yesterday. All right, and we're gonna be out. Really thought we had a second bounce with AEZS, but no. Let's see. If anything, I'm just gonna lock in profits at $3. No, I'm not gonna do it. Well, yeah, INO is moving up. All right, crap. I bet. That was exciting. One second, guys. All right. I'm gonna set my alerts when it goes above 310 again. But I definitely think AEZS has a good play. Just have a couple things. I have a meeting in a couple minutes at 7, and I have meetings like all day today. So I'm gonna end it here, but I want to check with Zian. Okay, so this one's experiencing a pullback. Again, guys, we called out the support at 540. The reason we called out the support at 540 is due to during pre-market hours, it bounced at 540, peaked out at the heck. All right, there we go. It peaked out at 580. That's where the resistance is at, although I tried to hit $3. So we have identified the support, the resistance. If it makes sense to you, set up a plan on, how it's going to lead to your success. Again, just coming down and managing risk. Like we always call it out, AMD having a pullback. Usually when it has a pullback, you catch it at the bounce, you wait for the breakout of resistance, and then guys, it's up, 1.58%. Again, nothing huge, but AMD is always like my go-to when it comes down to just trying to find a good like either a hold or something like that, or a good little pop. So let's see, where's I know? Freaking crap! Literally, guys, yesterday I kept calling it out. Not getting at the best price. I got in at 606, so nothing good. I thought I got in at a good price because I waited for the bounce. I waited for the break above 605, and again, that's just my style. I like to wait for the break. I like to wait for the bounce, right? So I bounced at $6, and I waited for the break of the resistance at 605. Got in at 606, hit highs of 615, and did not trade it. Did not sell. I thought we had the potential to go back up to 620. Why is it that you may ask that it's 620? Well, if you look, that's where like it initially bounced at 610, hit highs of 620, hit 615, flatlined at like $6 or 602 for the remainder of the day. I tried to buy a little bit more shares on the lower end. Did not do. I didn't buy enough to actually I changed my average, but then it hit highs of 607, 608. Didn't sell, and then the second time that it didn't, I sold at 607. Again, I bought in at 606. So I literally just didn't want to hold the stock overnight. I planned this stock to be a day trade, therefore I wanted to sell it. I did not want to hold it overnight because you never know what could happen, right? If you plan a stock to be a day trade and that's how you manage your risk, then it should stay as a day trade. It's as simple as that. But ended up seeing a downward trend, broke below support, so I thought I did a good thing. And then I should have known today it broke above the $6 resistance. So even with the small margin that it's up right now, that's about 2% from top to bottom, from $6, not even from the $5.95, just because that's during pre-market hours. But regardless, that was my plan, and didn't work out the way that I planned. But hey, like profit's profit. Again, it's 1 cent for the $6 stock, so like nothing. I'm pretty sure I still lost money with the commission that I ended up paying. But it was a really busy day yesterday, so I didn't really care too much about what it was that I was trading. Same with today. Let's check up on Snapchat. Snapchat is still trying to hold above that. If you guys could see 1470 support. So I'm going to set my alert, and if we break below the support, then that's definitely not a good sign. And it's just showing that, Snapchat is showing signs of downward momentum. So we have a good amount of buyers here and a good amount of sellers as well. Looks like we did pretty well with AEZS. Looks like a couple of you like that shout out. How do I join the chat room? You have to join the Facebook group first. So the link is provided for you down below. Once you guys get accepted, I'll keep you guys up to date on everything that's going on. Now to regroup and wait a little while. Yeah. How to set a stop loss on Robinhood? Yeah, literally search up what is a stop loss, and then put my name, and then on the YouTube search bar, and I have the video for that. Ricky, ZN is pulling back. Thank you, Lise, for letting me know. I did see that little pullback that I had at the support. So that's good that we were able to call it out. That may be a good trade if we can identify like a break in above 550. Again, that's just my style. I like waiting for the break in resistance. But other than that, DGAS bounce, right? Just like we kind of called it out. I don't know. Yeah, that thing's coming back down. Thing pissed me off. I'm just kidding. You trade with no emotions, right? So actually, there we go. It's starting to break above. I did want to let you guys know. So I get the question a lot. Where are the group chats going? Right? There's still a lot of people that are using the TechBot Solutions GroupMe group chat. And guys, if it works for you and you guys like this group, then stick to it. I'll keep you guys up to date on exactly where I'm going to be moving the group. But just know that if you're like in the OTC stock group with Brad Smith, he wants to still stay on the GroupMe because he thinks that he really just enjoys the community and the group that they have going on. So again, if that GroupMe is what you guys want to stay at, then just know that it's still gonna be an active chat. Same with OTC stock. Chad is being the superstar and is trying to manage both, the Discord group chat as well as the GroupMe group chat. Again, these guys are all just helping me out just because, again, we provide this platform all for free. So just understand that we're here trying our best to try to manage both group chats. So if you guys can thank Connor and then thank Brad. Connor's going to be one that's going to be leading he's one of the mods here in the Momentum Traders. And then Swing Traders, we're going to have, I still haven't labeled anyone as like the mod for this specific group chat. But then we have Kevin that's just completely, or Kyle, I apologize. Kyle is just completely killing it when it comes down to the buying and reselling of different products. So thank you again for all your help. OTC stock, again, Brad, you guys can give him a shout out again. That you guys can tell that it's him by his golden name. And then Swing Trading, we'll shout that out. And then I'm going to be in the main group chat. I'm going to be on both the main group chat in Discord as well as TechBot Solutions. Guys, I'm going to try my best to still manage both until I give you guys the proper, resolution on what it is that we're going to do for you guys. If you guys haven't watched any of the videos that I uploaded previously, again, I talked about how Turo works and how I was able to make a couple $1,000s a month owning my GTR when I originally bought it, and then kind of how I make money on the side. This is obviously not a GTR. This is the car that I own now, but just kind of a breakdown on that. Yesterday's recap, or yesterday's live stream, and then the issues that people were experiencing yesterday with Robinhood, as well as all the helpful videos on how much money should I start out with, how to day trade penny stocks, what is Robinhood Instant, how to build a watch list. Again, these are all just the frequently asked questions. As you guys could see, support and resistance, how to trade, how to use a stop loss, finding potential, everything that is that you need to know about the basics. I make sure that I give you a complete breakdown. So, all right, guys, I'm talking too much, and ZN is now moving. So I'm gonna call it an end of live stream here. I have how many more minutes? 7 more minutes to trade. Let's see if I can get in a good pool on ZN. I want to thank you guys for everything it is that you guys do. And I will post all my trades within the TechBot Solutions group chat as well as the Discord group chat, and I'll continue calling out stocks throughout the day as long as I have time. Remember, guys, we have 3 rules with TechBot Solutions. We only trade what we understand. We don't trade based on other people's opinion, and we always have a plan when it comes to trading. Continue working hard. Continue doing what it is that you guys love. Continue networking and sharing best practices, sharing mistakes. And like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green out. I hope you guys have a safe weekend, and we'll see you guys here for our Sunday stock talk. And I think today we're going to film a recap for today's trades and give you guys a couple shout outs just because you guys have been amazing within the past couple of days. So thank you guys again. Take care.